Let's bring in the Director General of the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, Adewale Smart Oyerinde. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you for having us.
If you were watching moments ago, we heard President Trump say tariff is his favorite
Fourth favorite word after God, love, and family.
Absolutely. Well, I doubt very much if it would be your favorite word, if as being at the receiving end of this. But really, first tariff adjustment since 1993. Is this tariff increase by 15%? Is it justified? Because they're saying, look, there's a need for this tariff to improve on infrastructure and upgrade equipment at the ports.
Well, as President Trump said, tariff in itself is not an anomaly, but you don't drive tariff on its own. It's not an end on its own. Right. The moment tariff becomes an end on its own, then it creates problems, it creates distortions. Now, considering our current circumstances, where the cost of living is already going high, the disposable income of the average Nigerian is already going low because of the season of tariffs. We have recent the increase in tariff for electricity, the discos increased, the telcos increased tariff, rightly so, because of cost of doing business. And now I think the time has come for us to look at the appropriateness of those increases within the context of now. And before I proceed, permit me to commend the Minister for Finance and Coordinating Minister for Industry, or Minister for the Economy, for stepping in and reversing the 4% FOB for customs, and also the role that the Controller General of Customs played in agreeing to those realities. It's basically the reality for us now, because if you increase tariffs, the natural consequence will be increase in the cost of the importation, which will flow back into the cost of the goods. And if you flow back to the cost of the goods, the business might shiver for a while, but the community that will catch cold is the consumers. Those that you are basically trying to save are the ones that you are, on the long run, you are going to kill. And those are the real issues for us. So if the 4% by customs, government can look at it and say, look, even while it is in the law, but for now, in the context of now, we can't go headlong and implement and suspend it. I think it's high time other agencies also take that very important look and look, in the context of now, is it appropriate for us to do?
So are you suggesting a total reversal of this, or are you in line with the LCCI, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, saying, let's do this gradually, perhaps a 5% for the next 3 years, and then subsequently we'll review? Do you think it should be staggered? Because it does look like in attempting to solve one problem, we create many more. I mean, this has been in 32 years coming, the first increase in 32 years for the Port Authority, and they do make a valid case to say this has not been done in 3 decades, don't you think? So how do we strike that balance in trying to fix the ports by increasing, but that's another argument, by increasing the tariffs and then making sure that Nigerians can breathe? Because at this point, I don't know if it's only the poor that is being suffocated.
And I think the first point to look at is, let's look at the port efficiency. Let's look at the wastages. Why can't we deal with these wastages first? Why should we go for the laziest option that any administrator, any unskilled administrator can explore? Just increase tariff. It's basically the laziest of options. Why not let's deal with what is the rate of efficiency of the current, what we are earning currently? What is the efficiency? Are the customers, the agents, are they really getting value for service currently? Then let's now move to, after dealing with that context, let's now move to, okay, do we now agree on a staggered increase with some level of commitment and accountability? That for every increase, this is the quantum of service efficiency that you will experience. So we can't just progressively say, okay, let's increase tariff. Customers are a very ambitious revenue target of over 1.7 trillion. The easiest way to look at it is just increase tariffs, then you meet your target. And we are more concerned about this that progressively most agencies are looking at determining performance based on how much revenue they can generate. And are looking at how much contribution they are making to the ease of doing business mantra of the government. Now the CBN is trying to manage the economy within the context of the monetary policy, targeting inflation. And at the same time, you are increasing tariffs every other time. And from simple economics, inflation is general increase in the prices of goods and services.
Right.
So you are fueling inflation on one side, and another agency of government is trying to control the same menace.
You are a player in the sector, and you understand the workings within the ports. Let's narrow it down to the NPA. Where are the inefficiencies? Where are the service gaps that you've noticed? And what needs to be done in those areas, apart from, increasing tariffs?
Many years ago, I need to surprise you, there was an executive order, I think 003, if I'm not mistaken, targeted at the ports to make sure that there is harmonization within the agencies, government agencies that are involved in the clearing, in the inspection in the port. And a few years down the line, the executive order seems to be on the shelf. So there is serious issues in clearing. There is serious issue in how long it takes to clear, which also feeds into the cost of clearing for those businesses. So for us, is why it's okay to say, like, let's review tariff. The argument of we've not increased tariff in 30 years, in 3 decades, doesn't stand. Why do we have to increase? If there's efficiency, there's maximum use of the resources that we have, then why do we have to go? Why does it have to go the route of tariff increase? Have we considered reduction in tariff? Is it an anomaly to say we want to reduce tariffs?
It does look like whatever goes up in this country never really comes down.
Absolutely. Gravity.
Except for perhaps maybe petrol we're seeing with the Dangote refinery and the NNPC.
And because of the competition, this silent competition, people are still some people are still importing. So
but let me ask you. I mean, we've seen some sort of listening body language from the government, and you've cited an example with the Nigerian customs. But should this go ahead? I mean, March 1 is just tomorrow, 48 hours from now. Yeah. Okay, should this go ahead? We've heard from importers say this will definitely drive the cost of goods, inflation, and all of that.
Absolutely.
But beyond that, what are the consequences, perhaps, that we will begin to see? You are, head of Employers Consultative Forum. What does that mean for Nigerian workers?
The consequences are, and that's the risk we face, because the consequences are not in the front line.
Okay.
And I'll give you a short analysis. If the cost of importing increases, invariably the cost of production increases. Now, the margin for increase for goods and services is not you can't exercise serious discretion in increasing the prices, because the consumer, the off-takers, their disposable income has already gone down. So 2 things you probably do. You probably you increase the cost of selling of those goods, and then you don't have off-takers, which will also make your goods, if you stay too long on the shelf, face the risk of expiry.
Expired goods.
Yeah.
Now, what the business will do is this. Okay, do I reduce my capacity utilization? And in reducing my capacity utilization, I will take a very painful decision of probably letting some staff go.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you don't see that in the front line. Custom, the MPA will say, look, we have generated our income, but we are feeding unemployment. And as unemployment grows, you are feeding insecurity. But MPA will say, look, we have met our target, we are doing well as an agency. They're probably giving medals for meeting their targets, but you have created other problems that are not in the front line. Those are the real
multiple
issues.
problems.
Absolutely.
We'll have to leave it there.
Absolutely.
Smart
so
Oyerinde.
should we stop it? Pardon me.
Yes. Very quickly.
I think we should for now, and more consultation. I think wider consultation should be done for us to agree on what exactly, if there's going to be increase, what quantum of increase should is allowable or is practical within the context.
The LCCI
of our
recommendation
situation.
of 5% annually. You don't think it's
With more consultation, it
Makes
can even
sense.
come down.
Okay.
It can even be more than, it can be less than 5%.
Or less than 5%.
Absolutely.
All right. Adewale Smart Oyerinde, Employers Consultative Forum. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.